Do, 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 do. Hello, everyone. All you beautiful souls. You are beautiful. How are you doing on this day? So good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I know you have a lot of other places you could be, but hey, I'm glad you're here. Warrior Queen, I just heard, and I don't know the whole details to this, but I don't someone in your family, I think, passed away at 23. That's too young. That's too young. And you know, they're on the next part of their journey, and it's it's part of this journey we're on. And this has been a day for me. I've done a lot of meditating today because I think you should. Think about when you came into this dimension, the minute you came in. And many of us, we all have an access point. And it gives you pause. And so, Warrior Queen, I'd like to see about getting you here on Monday, and let's do a fundraiser for you. And anyone who, Lois, you want to bring on, let's bring them on. And so, folks, let's just show our appreciation to Lois, and we'll fill up that pantry. I think that's a good way to honor the memory. And Lois, I don't know where the family connection is, but for your family. So there we go. So welcome, everyone. Thank you, everyone, all the moderators. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Just, man, you're making me cry. Just overwhelming. And that's kind of a really, really cool. And thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for the love. There has been a shift. And I want to say thank you to Heidi Vanderberg that and Trisha G as well. And there is even, I believe it's Maria. Yeah. So 3 different, very intuitive people, talented with their giftings, all said, and particularly with Heidi, she hit it so specifically. So Heidi, way to go. Thank you. Looking forward to it. So yeah, it's my birthday. Been here 23,376 days. It's when I entered into this dimension. And I have a little treat for you. I'll show you here in a minute. It's also very interesting how many 9s show up in my life. I'm a life path 9, as Trisha G is. Today is her birthday as well. Happy birthday, Trisha. And happy birthday to the rest. I saw a lot of people. I found an interesting statistic on my birthday. I was born on a Sunday at 1:29 in the morning in Belleville, Illinois. And the interesting thing, on that day, on June 19th, 1955, there were approximately, they estimate, 273,000 people entered that dimension at the same time I did. So I guess when my passing comes, I don't know if we have a class reunion. What do they say? Well, the class of June 19th, 1955, come forward, and I guess we'll see who lasted the longest. And I don't know. Another interesting fact, I was born under a new moon, apparently, as I read this right. However, I have had 792 full moons. There you go. And you know what? It's been a far out journey. It really has been. So first of all, let me invoke favor upon all of you. May favor grace you. May favor abound in your life in all ways. May it come and greet you and meet you. And may there be nothing missing, nothing broken in your life. And that means complete restoration. when we leave, wouldn't we like to make sure that the scales are balanced? Yeah. And thank you. Thank you very much, Hadley. I appreciate that. Y'all are so cool. Hey, Brian, Milky Way Messenger. So many. I just want to say thank you. You all have provided restoration to me, and hope the same to you. Just man, I mean, you got to read fast. I can't keep up. Well, thank you all again. So let's do our, I got the affirmation up here, folks. I think these are important. As we look at this, I like the fact that, as you get further days put behind you, you begin to realize that, this stuff is real. I mean, it's just not a bunch of hokey pokey, let's just all hold hands and sing kumbaya, and let's just go ahead and have this nice little saying. No, words mean something. They'll define you. In the next life to come, your words are going to define the energy, the essence of who and what you are. Because remember, in this dimension and in this realm, we are limited, I think by ourselves, we know that how we're taught, but we're limited to physical speech. And it's a hell of a challenge. Who would deny that? I mean, have I stepped in it so many times in that 23,000 days that I've been on this planet? I give my first year as, you got to give the first year as a mulligan, so to speak. And man, I have stepped in it by my words, my own words. So anyway, we go, and you are, I am. Anyway, you look at it, you are I, and I am. We no longer accept the premise that the material world is the source of our needs. No more, it stops now. Therefore, we acknowledge the divine creator. And by the way, I just want to digress here a second. I was in the moment of bliss and meditation, just singing a song from my spirit to the creator, thanking him or her or it. Don't think it's anything, but it's all of them. I think it is as much male as it is much female, as much neither. I am of male, so got to have something in there. But anyway, I was just thinking that force, that life force, that essence that's everywhere for consciousness. It's taken me decades, folks, to realize the gift of consciousness. Without it, there's nothing to define us individually, collectively. And it is a gift. Whatever that force is, whatever that, I know what it is, because as I was in this moment of praise, and it was praise, it was high praise. I'll share that with what was spoken to me. At my passing, I am to sing that song. I told you we all have our own spirit song. I hope you have yours. And the interesting thing is, this that we call the creator, the infinite being, the divine creator, whatever you want to title it, it's a frequency. It's a vibration. It vibrates in everything. Think about that. So, therefore, we acknowledge that force as the only source of all of our wants and needs. Thus, we affirm that every word, thought, and action, and I like how that is. That's actually proper, the way you put it. The word is always the thought of the thought being spoken into action, which goes forth from us. We're all energy. Each and every one of us, while you're in these fantastic biosuits, we're generating energy. And that energy saturates our words. How many of you have ever gotten in a fight with a loved one? Man, it's like walking into a house that's fried fish the next day. It lingers. Well, that shall not return into us void without producing any consequence, good or bad. We are the originators and creators of that force once we release it. But it shall accomplish that which I intended, and it shall produce the results which I willed. That's going to come a lot in play in the next one. It shall then dwell within me until sent forth once again. I am conscious. That is such a gift, folks. Whether you like someone or you dislike them, no matter where you are, you've been given the gift of consciousness. I wonder how many who have struggled with their lives and regrettably have taken their lives, those who have been in situations where if everyone involved had just understood how precious a gift consciousness is. Wow. I am conscious and aware of these truths which provide all my physical and spiritual support. Thus, we know that that force is lavish and limitless within us. Within us dwells abundance. Abundance flows eternally. Restoration is ongoing. All of our needs are instantly met. Think about that one. Everything that you got in your life today, I'm just saying, it's the manifestation, and it is constantly forming. And that power resides, that divine spirit of the Creator within us. Therefore, how can you not have any unfulfilled desires or wants? Therefore, we acknowledge that force, God, whatever you want to find it, the divine and eternal Creator, for the mercy, prosperity, restoration, spiritual growth, opportunity to be. And be, ladies and gentlemen, is consciousness. And I am so glad that I have the opportunity to share your consciousness. That's how we are doing this gig. It's far out. Think about it. And, you know, it's an amazing journey here. It really is. So I have a little treat for you. I thought I went back and just kind of put a montage of photos of my life in these 23,376 days, which I'm digging a lot. Hey, Lord, how are all of you guys doing? So, yeah, have some fun with this. I did, but so this is my life. Let me get that enlarged. That's my mom. I think here I am 6 months old, so that would put me right in December of 55 or January of 56. And so, yeah, something that she told me, and I've heard this, I was a happy baby, always smiling, always. And little did I know how true that truly was. There I am I think I'm 1 year old. Yeah, I was a fat kid. But hey, that's what mother's milk does for you. It's supposed to. And even there, smiling, I guess I was a happy kid. This is, let me see, this is in Santa Clara, I believe. Yes, this is Santa Clara. This is 1960, so this would make me 5 years old. And yeah, talk about the memories. And when I look at this, that's me. Now, all of you hopefully have someone has saved your baby pictures. I studied this when I was putting this together and realizing that That is me. I am the future of the potential that dwelled in me at this time that I came into this dimension. Probably, as with most of us, as we know, it takes a while to get. In fact, I don't know if we ever get used to in this dimension. But so you begin to see the, and it's the transmutation, it's the progression of consciousness. This is my brother. This is Santa Clara as well. Same time period. This is, I think 4 years later. My dad remarried, and the woman he remarried had 3 kids. And the that was my brother, my full brother. And we were poor, folks. We were poor. It was a different life for us. Quite a different life. There's a story behind there between the transition from what we were. The interesting story is that what we didn't realize, the subdivision that when I lived with my grandparents in Santa Clara, less than a mile, Steve Jobs was in the same, anyway, went to the same school, elementary school him and I did. So we were, poor. There's the chickens. We raised our own food. But again, I always had a smile. As you can see, I'm sharing the whole world. This is my stepmother's mother, and there's my father over on the right. This was a time of challenge for me. A lot of challenges. Let me just put it that way. And there's my father and my brother. And here we are again. And this is the woman who he married. And as you go through life, you see the transition. How often we forget the memories that we have, snippets that we save in the hippocampus as the long-term memories. And our brains have this most remarkable thing about what they do is how they pull snippets. And sometimes when you're not realizing what you're actually seeing or lived, that you remember. Now, this is my grandparents, my dad, Boy Scouts. Yes, I was. I enjoyed the Scouts. Pictures going through the years. This is 5th grade, specifically. Yeah, and I look at this kid. Now, I know what this kid was going through. It wasn't fun. This picture here, when you look at it, you go, I'd forgotten about that. And just by a picture, how it invokes, a flood of memories. You go, yeah, more of, again, that's a skinny kid. Again, I really enjoyed the Scouts. Now, I had moved back to California. This is my cousins. It was, when I look at this picture here, I laugh because there was a group called the Zombie called The Time of the Seasons. It's the time of the seasons. Well, this was a time, our cousin Marcia, which Wendy over here, her sister, she actually went to Woodstock. So this is that time. This is myself. I believe in this picture I am 14, I think. 14, yeah, 14 or 15. It was right before This is where I grew up in Benicia, in California, a long time ago. This is my brother, Guy. This is me. This is when I was the CEO of a tech company in Austin. This is my house. And Guy's a free spirit. Love the dude. You know, Guy, my brother, as I look at it, the dude was more awake than I ever gave him credit for. So, love that dude. This is me. This is Myrtle Beach. This is St. Louis, when I was actually a drywall finisher. This is Anheuser-Busch. That's the helipad. I got to know Mr. Bush personally. So, yeah, back in the day. I think this is, if I'm correct, I think this is 1980, I think. And those of you who lived in St. Louis or have ever gone to St. Louis, you know where the brewery is. I had a great time there, by the way. This is me, advanced. This is Nashville, Tennessee. This is 1990, I believe, 1991. I was the president of the Ad Club. This is the national meeting. And this was a skit we put on. Ray Stevens was there. This is the streak. And we had a great time. A lot of work to get this one done. We actually won first place. The thing that was always the question was I going to be able to keep her as she flew through the air in a pirouette? Well, yes, I did. I was a very buffed out guy in the day, still am to a degree. And was having a lot of fun in this one. So this is Knoxville, Tennessee. We're actually at I think this is a Christmas party. This is the lady that knew at the time. That's my Bruce Willis look. Yeah, there you go. This is later in, this is actually in Las Vegas. Family reunion. This was 3 families coming together that made, and it was the last time. This is I think this is 94, I think. Yeah. Out in California. This is my cousins. All of us, we were all within 5 years of each other. It's amazing to see how our lives have gone. So I'm sharing with you memories of, they're my memories, but but nevertheless, this was my vice president. We're in Times Square. This is right. Let's see. So I closed the deal right before Christmas. So this is 1999. Going back in time, that was my Rick Nelson look. Yeah, that's my uncle. When you hear me speak of Burnett Balin, this is the home had since closed down, but this is where it was again a unique time in my life. Taught me a lot. That this cottage, I was actually in all 3 of them. There's one here, cottage 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But yeah, this is me blitzed. Yeah, no comments on it. Had one too many margaritas, and again, that's it. So there you go. I hope you found that to be entertaining. So what can I say? Yeah, back in the day. So, hey, what can I say? And, I want to say thank you as well, not only with the overabundance of birthday wishes, but I want to say thank you Uh, I've gotten some great gifts here that really was wonderful. This came from Christine. And you see, folks, you want to know how you can do your talents and apply sigils, because this is going to be cool. So look what she did. So as you can see, let me get it there. Yeah. So I love this. Uh, she also made this glass case. Uh, just some of the coolest things. I'm putting my crystals in a lot of this. This is, of course, how many of you know what that sigil is? That's my sigil for if you're looking or needing a home, a new home. It can be a challenge, trust me. So I just want to say thank you. Then Terry and Charlie, I showed you their picture of how they had, Charlie had actually welded, and with his talent, a sigil of prosperity. I have mine, folks. And this will be hung in a place. It is charged and ready to go. So thank you, Charlie and Terry, for that. And my dearest friend on the East Coast, Renee, sent me this lovely box of chocolate. Yes, I am eating them. You can't have any. This is probably, I got to tell you, some of the most beautiful chocolate. It's, it's a shame to have to eat them, but then again, that's what they were created for. Love these little darlings. Check this one out. Is that not cool? And it's very tasty. So these are custom-made chocolates, blue tulip chocolates. I can tell you, it's far out, man. It tastes really good, and you savor the flavor, baby. That's all I got to tell you. So thank you all so much. It's just, overwhelming. I really didn't put anything together today. I just, actually it's going to be a short one, but I just want to say thank you to all. And so now you've seen my life, and I guess what I'm trying to say, no matter what the challenge is, and we all face challenges, there have been some dark days that my soul entered into. And it's the events of our lives that so often we find ourselves in these places. And what I can say is there is a life force within us all. And I am grateful that I've had the natural ability to always hear that voice. Didn't always pay attention to it. Would have saved myself a lot of misery, but you also learn a lot from misery. And life is not always fair. In my lifetime, I've had people steal from me. I've had people lie to me, hurt me. But on the very same hand, I'm no saint either. I was very much into, an eye for an eye type mentality. And, the journey for all of us is unique to each and every one of us. In my time, and I would say that Source actually would spoke this to me. Think about this, folks, and I want us to really think about this, because this is really kind of what the last mile for, I think, most people in understanding how we sometimes are our worst judges, our worst enemy. For myself, I've always been a perfectionist in one way or another. And because of my early upbringing, my father, I didn't know my mother, the little time that I did, that's another story, but um, was not the most, he was a brilliant man intellectually. He was never awake per se, and he was a very cruel man. And the words that we speak that are spoken over us as children, particularly in those crucial years, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, it begins to form an image within each and every one of us. And the image that was trying to be imprinted upon me was that I was never good enough. You know, I was always screwing up, never quite making the mark, when in fact, the reality of the situation, I was exceeding it. But my father had an anger problem. And what he was taking out on me was what he himself wasn't able to become until much later in his life. And subsequently, so, there's a proverb that says, the rod will drive out the foolishness in the child, but do not break the spirit of a child by speaking harsh words. And so that set me on a path that it took decades to recover from. That was not my original life path. That was not what was supposed to be. And that's sometimes the way it is, folks. Things happen and they interrupt our journeys. And I'm grateful for the fact that at this point in my life, that I can see these truths. And so when I speak to you, I speak from experience. We all have that challenge where you have to make a decision. And some of us never do. Some of us are the greatest procrastinators, but those of us who do and begin to face these things, things begin to change. And so let me tell you what Source said to me. And this is how it was said. How can I be judged against being perfect when I never was perfect? That is a revelation to me, because when you begin to understand, folks, none of us are perfect. None of us. I don't know. Maybe that is the ultimate goal. But it's a journey that's not going to be accomplished in this lifetime. Doubt it will be in the next one. And there is a next one. I used to never believe that. I was so indoctrinated that my concept of death and the next life was like, well, I'm going to be in this freaking line, and you're going, all right, and you've got this thing in your head that you think, well, I'm going to go to heaven. And you go, well, what's heaven like? And well, now I studied this from an engineering point. I could tell you the dimensions of the New Jerusalem, the cube. And, but that was my perception. And the poor bastards that didn't accept this truth, well, too bad for them, And that's how, And oddly enough, because when you have that construct that I don't think it comes naturally. I don't believe that. Naturally is, I think that we know that we're on a path journey. And anyway, now I see it. I read this article that said, how many of you have ever had surgery when they put you out under anesthesia? Had a number of knee surgeries. And anyway, they say that that's what death is like when you're under anesthesia. You don't remember anything. Yeah. And as I looked at that child, me, not even, 180 days old, how I must have been adjusting to this. And if you can tell me how that child had any flaws, let me know. I don't think any child born into this realm has any flaws. I don't think we have flaws. I really don't. I think we're here for the experience. It seems that, and I believe that there is absolutely unlimited other dimensions. And I'm beginning to understand why we don't remember. Because it's the challenge. I think we do this because we are of such intelligences. I really do believe this. Now, that we come into this thing knowing that we're going to have no memories because we want to take the challenge. And we all say it all the time. Well, life is challenging. Yeah, it is. I think that's why we're here. I think it's why we came here. Obviously, on the day that I was born, nearly 273,000, they estimate, other souls were coming in. And if you break that down by the hour, it's a lot of people. Tens of thousands every hour. Now, can you imagine that? I mean, what were we doing? Are we standing in line? They call our number. All right, Steiger, number one, I don't know. But I know this. It's been fun. It is still being fun. And Robin, I just read it, or going to hell. Isn't that odd how I wrote this to someone yesterday, and I was trying to communicate something about forgiveness. And I know it's difficult for some people. Why should I forgive myself? Well, you know what? Because sometimes you're an ass. And you know what? You ought to apologize to yourself. Many of us should be apologizing to our bodies. There is more than one up here. That sounds weird, I know. But we are both the observer and the observed. Why do you have the conversations in your house when you need to make a critical decision? And when you're thinking about it on a daily basis, that's almost all the time. But there are those decisions sometimes where you have that discussion with yourself. I mean, it's like you're both the prosecutor and the defense, And now, when I look into the mirror, I love that soul. I am a good soul. I laugh, I cry, I appreciate this body. Tarina is going to be on tomorrow. We're going to get more into that. We have misappropriated in meaning self-love. And I think that's one of the keys, folks. I think there's a lot of keys, but one of them is really just learning to love yourself. And I can tell you, that child that you saw, it was poor. We were poor. There was something special in him, still is. It's me. And it's showing me something. The resiliency of the spirit, the soul. Some of us, well, some of us are special. Some of us have some uniquenesses about us. I think in one way, every soul does. And I think we're all part of a tribe. I think that there is a part of us that a family. And I don't know how the journey goes. I just know it continues to go. It never ends, never stops. The memories are going to be the ones that, I guess in one way, it'll always be like that, constant vibration, that energy that comes to you. And I think in many cases, if you looked at it, by people loving you, upholding you, surrounding you, even when you pass on, those memories, I still think, have an elixir to it on the other side. It's like the Saturday Night Live, except it's not the, Candygram. It's not the shark, you know what I'm saying? But I think so. All right. I hope it's been a good day for you. I'm going to go and continue on with my day. Again, thank you all. Enjoy your life. That's what I'm trying to say. Here I am, 64. Don't feel it. Don't feel it any different at all. But as you see it's a transmutation. It really is. And learn just to love yourself. Don't let it be one of those things that when you pass over, you go, man, if I just known this. Love yourself. There's only one of you. You're the only one that's on the journey you're on. And you're the one that are creating the moments. That's why we're studying magic. Someone wrote me, said, why did you change direction? I never changed direction. There was, after you've done almost 1,100 videos, there is a defined course that I have seen. The great thing about video is that now there's this video diary. But it's magic, folks. It's everywhere. It's just that we were told that it's only in fairy tales and make-believe. Wrong again. All right. Joy to the world. I love that. All you boys and girls. Y'all are cool. I want to tell you that. I'm just reading some of this thing. You know that song that ELO sang? It's magic. When I first heard that song, there was a friend of mine, the memories I still love, David Myers. We had some good times. And anyway, we were, what were you doing? I remember we were listening and that song came out the first time. It's magic. We thought it was saying, it's my dick. We kept going, how are they playing this on the radio? Anyway. So anyway, I digress. Hey, Gary, how you doing? Cheesesteak, thank you. Thank you. Twisted Isby, peace, and I love it. The universe is a far out place. It really is. And, listen, this is talking to a guy that at one time had a literal rope around his neck. Yeah, I know what it is to be at that place. Woo! Baby, someone said to me one time, I'll go to hell. And I said, I've already been there, conquered it. And, so these things. You find these things out. And it's that moment of truth, baby. That moment of truth. So life is good, no matter what the life is. And even in the challenging points, realize it's a challenge. And sometimes we don't always make the challenge. We fail at it at times. but it's nothing to beat yourself up about. And boy, I was the worst at that. Man, I'll tell you what, you don't need no caning or lashing. I was so good at self-abasement. Woo! I'm telling you what. But you don't have to do that. You don't. You really don't. And live your life, love yourself, love the ones that are around you, and even embrace the challenges. But I'll tell you what, if you follow what we're teaching here, your life will change. I can assure you that. And the change is the most remarkable thing because it begins in here. All right, folks, be good. Thank you. Thank you for the 1 thumbs down. But you know what? When I looked at this is so cool. 111 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down. Look at the significance of that. 1, 1, 1, 1. You see, even that which has been meant for my harm turns to my profit. Woohoo! All right. Come on, folks. We're going to get excited about this. Man, I'll tell you what. And listen, they can't hate us forever if we just love them all the way to the end. All right, folks. Be good to yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow with Trina. We're going to have fun on that. And we're going to have, I'll get with Lois, Warrior Queen, have her on Monday, and we'll do a fundraiser for her. So again, thank you all. Be good to yourself. Love you. And we'll talk soon. All right. Bye-bye.